Deeper dive into this growing epidemic tonight with civil rights attorney Robert Patillo and Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. Tom, I want to get your thoughts on Kayleigh McEnany. This is a tremendous soundbite. She talks about this idea of, well, we want to keep families together. That's why we're trying to make changes to our immigration policy. But an open border is not the answer. Listen to Kayleigh. We get your reaction on the other side.
Today, he has the audacity to say this is to keep families together. What'd you do to keep Laken Riley with her family, Rachel Morin with her family? You ripped up 84 executive actions, did away with Remain in Mexico, did away with Title 42. What have you done for the family of Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, the 13-year-old?
That is a powerful reminder of this is not just about policy here. We're talking about real lives, real families, real death or real assault. This is real life here, and we can't just say, well, it's a policy position.
Well, it's lawlessness, and we have these aliens crossing unlawfully, and it's no surprise people willing to do that. Some of them, or a significant number, too many, have significant criminal records in addition to the criminal act of crossing the border and being here illegally. And on top of that, you have the president encouraging the unlawful behavior by rewarding those who crossed illegally with amnesty outside the law. So it's compounding and leading to a vicious circle. And what I love about the left is that they pretend that, illegal aliens commit crimes at no different rate than citizens. Well, the fact is, there's something terrible about it because when an illegal alien commits crimes like this, because the crime would never have happened but for their presence, which is unlawful.
And keep in mind, if you'll break the law to get here, you may break the law once you are here. Robert, I want to get your reaction to this Ohio sheriff talking about this mass of crime. And granted, some people would argue, listen, Kevin, an occasional crime here or occasional crime there does not paint a proper picture, broadly speaking, of all the people who've come here, illegal or otherwise. And yet, again, things can happen. Listen to the sheriff in Ohio.
Over the past 3 years since Biden's been president, I've had 1,000 people in my jail from other countries. 1,000. Of that 1,000, they've committed 2,000 crimes.
What on earth do you say to that?
Well, look, for the last 25 years, we've had Republicans walking away from immigration reform. You can start McCain-Kennedy in 2005. You can go to the Schumer Compromise in 2013, the Obama Compromise 2015. You can go to the Rubio-Trump Compromise in 2018. You can go to the Langford bill that's in front of Congress right now. They have never actually wanted to do anything about this except talk about it. And the reason that the American people are frustrated is you have Republicans who know how to fundraise, they know how to talk, they know how to campaign on immigration, but when it's time to compromise, they walk away.
What about what Reagan did, though? I mean, Reagan made a compromise, and people said that should do it. That didn't do it.
That was in 1986, and that was called blanket amnesty at the time. So if Republicans haven't come up with anything besides amnesty since 1986, the Democrats have legislation right now that could solve this problem. We just need partners who are willing to come across the aisle and actually pass real laws.
Pass real laws, Tom, is what they're going to tell you right up the street here on Capitol Hill. In the 15 seconds we have left, what, if anything, happens this year, if at all, other than an executive action that will likely be shot down by the courts?
Well, they can't get amnesty through Congress, which is the code for the reform that my colleague here is highlighting. And so what Biden's going to do is to push amnesty through executive fiat. So he's going to break the law in order to achieve these political results, which is so terrible in my view.
Which means it's either back to court or if there's another president come the fall, it'll all get changed again. Robert, I owe you a solid. Thank you, my friend. We'll see you again a little bit later. Tommy, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.